introduce yourself perhaps and tell us a little bit about Jayden just to begin with, and then we can perhaps delve into some questions.
Yeah, I'm Marie. Jayden's my second born child. My oldest is 23. Jayden has just turned 17. He's been going to Woodlands since he was 2.5, so we've been very, very lucky for him to have that placement and that support from that age. I feel, well, I can't express how lucky I feel for that, because I know the struggles that a lot of people do have, so I do feel really, really grateful for that.
Definitely. I mean, I will agree with you on there that it's a lot of people apply for the special schools, and there's only a few places, so if you do get in, you're very lucky, as you say.
Yeah, and I don't think at the time I appreciated because Jayden was my second child. My first son went to mainstream school, so until I was faced with the challenges that we are, I wasn't aware of a lot of things, really. Autism being one.
Yeah.
The support that would be needed was another. So,
when did you start? At what age did you start to notice that there was something different, or something that you thought, oh, that didn't happen before with my firstborn?
He was only little. I'm not the Pied Piper, so I've always had children around me that tend to flock to me. And then Jayden just wasn't mama, dada, baba. He just wasn't babbling. All the things that
developmental wise, with the speech and that.
So that was my first thing, and I just mentioned it to the health visitor on his 2-year check.
So you was the one to bring it up on the 2-year check?
Yeah.
Right.
And then it sort of went from there, really. They come out to the house and just did a few things, because I had a break from work to childmind, so I could be there to support Jayden, because he'd been poorly leading up to that. And then it just sort of went from there, really.
He was into Woodlands. I mean, like you say, they're a fantastic school, and you know, like I say, with my son, he's 5, and you know him well, Jake, and he's got autism, and since he started, he's gone from non-verbal to actually, you know, September last year he started, and today he's, you know, doing some sentences pretty good, you know. So he's getting there, but he's made tremendous progress. And how did you find that, all going into Woodlands with Jayden, a special school, how that affected you? Do you see little changes, big changes?
It was just tiny steps, little different things. His speech come along.
Yeah.
It took a long while just to get his attention span there, because he's very here, there and everywhere. Over the years, it's just come on leaps and bounds, and not just academically but socially.
Yeah,
is amazing.
That's so good, and it's nice for them to be able to have friends at the school. Everything that they do through play has a purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they really know their stuff, and yeah, like you say,
and it's not just that. I mean, I can remember when the doctors started chucking this for autism, and you're just like, what? No, not much. No. And some people might be a bit, no, I'll just still send them to mainstream. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean, yeah.
And if that's not what your child needs, and they do need SEN school, then if it can help that parent that maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely take on board what you're saying there. When it was the health visitor who picked up on Jake's autism, I mean, we knew that, we just thought he might have been a late talker, and that's often a phrase that's thrown around quite a bit. Oh, someone's a late talker or whatnot, and sometimes that is all it is they are a late talker and it's nothing else. However, the health visitor did mention it, and that's when, I think it was on his 2-year check actually, Jaden's doing a great job directing.
We have different challenges. If we get rid of one obstacle, something replaces it. I've been very lucky that I've built relationships with each teacher at the school. Tammy was fantastic. Rachel's been brilliant and known him since he was little. Charlotte, Rachel, and Star now is brilliant. So if we have something, an issue at home, Jaden respects them peers.
That's really good.
And he really does, because if I say, oh, what would Star say if she knew you'd been swearing or banging? And he's like, so Jaden respects them.
Yeah.
Then they help me and support me. They'll do picture stories or social stories, and then we keep it at home. It is a struggle and the challenges we face, but I never feel like I'm on my own.
No.
If you know what I mean. I know that's...
No, I get it completely.
Weird.
No, I get it. I think, like, I've read quite a lot of comments on autism support groups and parents who are just finding out that their child's autistic. It's usually from the age range of about sort of 3 to about sort of maybe 7, that they're unsure. Probably like we felt there was no guidance there until we got to actually see professionals. So at 5 years old, and they're smearing poo on the wall.
See, Jaden did that, and I spoke to the psychiatrist, and whereas I was like, oh God, it's going to make him ill. Why is he doing it? And she was like, just don't make an issue of it. Just clean it, and it's it. He feels like it's his. It belongs to him, so he wants to play with it. Just give me a different spin on
how to view
it. And so I just, instead of pajama bottoms and a top, I just got onesies just to make it that little bit more difficult. It did. He stopped doing it eventually. Yeah.
Or it may happen on an occasion or something.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. It's like you say with autism, there's usually, especially right now, with going through like child and childhood years, they're learning anyway.
Yeah.
So obviously during adult years, depending on the spectrum they are on the autistic scale, although they won't give you a number these days of if they're here or there, but they're always going to face challenges. But it's not, every child is different, is what I'm trying to say. And the quirky little things that sometimes happen, like they might go through, this is to try and reassure some parents that if your child is doing this, first of all, you might want to take a look and see if it's related to autism, but second of all, how to try and handle these situations. And I really do feel that I've learned very early on, I've thrown myself into trying to learn about autism so we can give Jake the most comfortable and most mental, so his mental health is good, because if he's upset, they do get upset a lot, because they want to get it feels like they want to get their own way, right? But it's frustrated, but how somebody else might see it as, oh, they're naughty, they're having you at it, they're trying to get their own way or something. And actually, like you say, it's not that. No. It is frustration. For Jake, he couldn't speak, and still we are struggling with that, but he's doing a lot better. But the frustration, how he would lash out, he would scratch my arms to shreds, bite me, and that went on for a long time. And now that he's able to communicate a little bit more vocally, the only thing, and all the time, I'd just say this, and you may have found the same with Jaden, he laughed his head off doing it the entire time. Whatever he was doing that was naughty, well, you could class as naughty, he would laugh as he was doing it. So the actual frustration, part of that was laughing as well, just getting it out.
Yeah, see, Jaden still does that.
You finished now?
Now,
almost.
If we're just slightly out of routine.
Yeah, routine.
He'll pinch, pull my hair, And people have seen it and they're just like, because I don't bat an eyelid.
Yeah, I'm the
I'll
same.
just
Yeah.
literally sit there, deep breath, no matter how much it's hurting.
Yeah.
And my friends or people that have seen it just like, how'd you do that? But if I'd have got angry
And
or shown
that's
him
the thing,
how much
Marie.
it was hurting, then he'd be like 10 times worse, because then he'd be like, oh, I've hurt my mum, I've done this, I've done that. But whereas I'll just sit back, that meltdown that could last 30 minutes, 40 minutes, can be over and done within 10 minutes.
And that's the thing, I think, you know, we all want to teach our kids as they're growing up, you know, rules, rights and wrongs, you know, and all the rest of it. But we are having to approach parenthood in a different way. And if you can do that and get your head around that and really try and understand, and you can read your child, can't you? You can read your child. You know what's
better than anybody.
Exactly. So you're the best person to react. I always say, like, shouting or, you know, just doesn't help.
No.
You know, and it's not nice either to shout.
No.
You know, so calm. Even they will test your patience like any child, but I always just remain as calm as I can. The ADHD, can you explain a little bit of that?
Jaden just is not got very much attention for anything. He can't just sit there and just sit and watch the telly. He's got to be climbing, touching, doing something, fidgeting with something. His energy levels are just unbelievable. If I had half of his energy, I'd be a millionaire. You can walk him for absolute miles and miles and miles, and he doesn't tire. He'll be in bed for like 3 minutes and he's like, can you tuck me in? And he'll be in bed for another 3 minutes and can you tuck me in?
Yeah.
He likes his windmills and his clocks and the churches, and I work with that.
The church bells as well, isn't it?
It keeps him calm and he enjoys it. So it's a routine from work, church. I'll just go straight home. He won't settle in it. No. He's just all over the shop. But if I can just do it, because he don't come home from school or sit and do homework or sit and read a book or watch the telly. His thing is he wants to do the church. So that's what we do.
With ADHD, what age did that come into play as regards that was mentioned to you, or you knew, or was it around the age of 6?
It was just sort of around the time with his diagnosis. It just sort of went hand in hand.
Yeah.
He just didn't sleep because when he was younger, he just did not.
We're almost finished now. Would you like us to finish now?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what to do. Do you want to say bye then to everyone? Do you want to say bye?
Yes,
Haven't you been collecting some money though?
Yes.
How have you been doing that? Jobs?
What do we do? What do we take them to?
Places.
Which sort of places?
Not know.
Where do we live?
Atherstone.
So where have we been taking them?
Atherstone.
We've took them to... Where did we go the other day? Where Carrie works?
The bakery.
It's good. I love it.
What's it called?
Gatons.
And who do you see there?
David G.
Oh.
And has David took you in the back of the bakery before?
Has he?
Yes, yeah. Favourite pub?
The Maid.
Maid. Is it the Maid of the Mill by any chance?
Yes.
And is that in... Where is it?
Cozell Road.
And who else has got a box? Where does Glenn go every Sunday?
Golf course.
Hold on, I've got a challenging one for you. There is one in Atherstone and they do fish and...
Friendly place.
That's the one.
Really, I wanted to see
where did Mum and Molly go the other day? Before we went, and we were going back to see Carrie.
Were they going to get something like maybe
sunbeds?
A suntan pad?
What time can we go see the
now? Thanks for coming along today and just helping raise awareness for ADHD and autism. Hopefully some of what we've been able to share will help other people, other parents, or maybe even grandparents, family who are
what time can I
in need of some help.
I was in the camp.
That's okay now.